Hello, Internet Inventory, and welcome to this. This is MMA AM for the 20th of February 2017. I'm LK from Kocosports.net. That's KOCO Sports.net. It's where the world goes to get cash and for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And I'm joined by Dion from SOS Wrestle Talk. I've got both names right today. I'm on a rock and roll tonight. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing well, LK. Thank you for having me on again for what it was pretty damn good, decent UFC card. Especially for a fight night. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it may not have had the most star-studded card that has ever been produced by the UFC, but it was definitely an enjoyable show, to say the least. And welcome everyone to Monday's edition of MMA AM. Obviously, it's Monday to Friday, same as Wrestle AM. And if you're watching this thinking, where's the Monday Night Raw review? I review Raw on Tuesdays now. I'm done with watching it live. I can't put myself through it. So if you're listening to this and you're a wrestling fan, every show will be the next day. For example, Monday Night Raw will be the next day. SmackDown will be on a Wednesday. NXT will be reviewed on a Thursday. Impact Wrestling reviewed on a Friday. Saturday, a takeover if there is reviewed. And this does mean, though, that because of my potential new job, it will mean I'll be able to get up earlier, which means I'll be able to watch New Japan live. So that's a winner. That is a winner. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the New Japan shows because I'll be able to watch them live. With that in mind, we're here to talk about MMA. I'll do Wrestle AM later on tonight. So with that in mind, what did you watch from the Fight Night show?
I was not able to catch their early prelims because I was still driving, unfortunately. But I actually did see the beginning of the. I don't want to pronounce this dude's name wrong. Was it Mishitart? Gerald? I'm just gonna call him. Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Gerald. I saw a little bit of the Gerald and Ryan James fight, which actually ended pretty abruptly in the first round. So
that was the first fight of the whole entire show.
So yeah, it ended pretty abruptly. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, man. Armbar, get it in.
It definitely was. And before we talk about the actual show, what were your thoughts of Todd Grisham? He's obviously a former WWE commentator, former backstage guy. I felt he did an okay job and knew his stuff for the UFC event. Because when I first heard his voice, I was like, oh my God. And it brought back memories of me when I was younger, really not enjoying his wrestling commentary. But he's so much better at mixed martial arts than he is at wrestling. But with that in mind, it's been, half a decade? So he's had a chance to really progress in his commentary.
Absolutely.
So what were your thoughts on Mr. Todd Grisham?
I actually thought it was a welcome addition, especially with, I know he doesn't really do these shows, but especially since a guy like Mark Goldberg, leading the UFC, and I think it's a welcome addition for the UFC. Ty Gresham, we know him from his WWE. I won't necessarily say fame, but it's his time in WWE, and he was a different sort of announcer. And I've actually known him to be a fan of combat sports. So, you know what? If you know something and you know a little bit about it, and you want to get in there and you really care about what you're doing, hey, by all means, man, get in there because we need more people covering the sport as far as UFC, wise knowing what they're doing. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, because when I first heard, I was like, "Oh my God, what's he going to sound like?" But after a while, I think he got pretty damn good. Opening fight, we had Gerald Mishat versus Ryan James, and first round, really nice armbar. I got the win really quickly, but it was just the pain in James' face that I didn't like. He was just screaming and then tapped really quickly. I was like, "Oh God, none of that, thank you, not for me, thanks, not for me."
And two, what I also thought was interesting about this fight was Gerald, he went into this fight with a 24-8 record, opposed to Ryan James' 9-0 record, and I kind of think that experience factor played in a little bit here because I think he just kind of was like, hey man, I've pretty much seen everything as far as these tricks of the trade go in this MMA game, and you're still kind of like a up and coming lion in this game, so I'm going to show you a little bit of something you don't know. I think that's kind of what happened here.
I still enjoyed it. I was
Absolutely.
a bit. With the early prelims, was there a fight cut? But there was only one fight on the Fight Pass prelims. Normally there's 2 or 3, or is it just because the fight nights don't have the free fights on the early prelims?
I think probably it's because it was a Sunday, honestly, because I think if it's Saturday, I think they have a little bit more fights, you know what I mean? But I think since it was a Sunday, and I don't know about you, I think UFC on Sundays it's weird. It's kind of different.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it, but it's just kind of weird. So it's like, 'cause I thought the fight was actually Saturday, coming into the week, so but yeah, I think it kind of has something to do with it being on Sundays,
Potentially. And we had a first fight of the prelims on Fox Sports. We had Jack Marshman versus Thiago Santos in the middleweight division. Round 1, I gave 10-9 to Marshman. I wrote Marsham there. What a fucking idiot. And then round 2, Santos with a huge kick to the head, I'm guessing, plus punches made the referee stop. Marsham then stands up and he is just pissing blood. And the commentary thinks it was an early stoppage. I disagree. There was no way for him to get away from that. I think that he could have, but I didn't. But I thought it was an exciting fight, a good scrap, and I enjoyed it.
I definitely agree. Exciting finish with the spinning wheel kick, man. It's, when you can get a finish like that, that's what I love about MMA. Those exciting, almost damn near flash finishes to where it's like, oh shit, like, damn, that was just very sudden and it's the end of the fight. So, and then he got, like you said, he got in there with the punches, and I'm with you, man. I don't really think that was an early stop, because he took the dude's head off with a spinning kick, man. Like you said, he was leaking. So I'm with you on that right there.
So let me show you here where I've done with my notes, okay? So look at my notes. This is what imbecile I am. I'm highlighting live on the screen right now. If you look on my Google, I'm highlight on the screen. That's what I wrote instead of a huge spin kick. A huge subju.
That might be like a Starbucks drink or something, man. I don't know.
I think it was because I was watching it at night, and when you type in quick when it's happening, maybe it was just an accident, but what an imbecile. That was awful. There was no way I should get away with my notes. It's why I stopped. I did stop using pen and paper, because my writing was getting disgracefully bad because I just couldn't read it. I used the fucking computer, and it's just as damn bad. But for the majority, it's helped me a little bit. But anyway, thanks for covering me there with the huge spin kick. It was because it was a spin kick, and they kept showing it in slow motion after, and each and every time it looked better and better.
Yeah, man.
Really nice kick. And the middleweight division, there was a few fights here. Obviously, the first 2 fights of middleweight division. What do you see that any of these guys jumping into the top 15 of the middleweight division, or not?
Man, well, when you can pull off exciting moves with spinning kick like that, you always got a shot at getting elevated in the card, because they see that you're willing to, go for the finish and willing to go for the knockout. So I think you always have a chance to move up in the card with doing something like that. Oh man, it's just like middleweight division. I think between the middleweight and honestly the welterweight division, those divisions are kind of really open, and they kind of meld together for me, because I think they kind of, you can jump up easily to go to the middleweight. But I just think the middleweight division is just really open right now. It's just really, really open. I mean, you got the champ Bisping. You got, I know you heard maybe the returning GSP, depending on what division he fights in. They say anywhere from 155 to 185. So, you got GSP. Of course, you got Yoel Romero, the number 1 contender. He's still out there. You got Jacare. You got the former champion Luke Rockhold in that division. So, I mean, and you still have Chris Weidman, who's actually getting ready to fight Mousasi here, which is going to be a very interesting fight here in the future. So the middleweight division to me is very exciting, and probably my favorite division right now in the UFC, withstanding the women's
strawweight.
Yeah, well, I like this. I like strawweight. You're right. Yeah, strawweight. You're right. Strawweight division is, I'm sorry, I was thinking about strawweight. You're right. Strawweight division is very, very exciting. Yeah, strawweight. Oh,
and you got my boy Uriah Hall in the middleweight. I'm a big fan of Uriah Hall, because I remember when it was around about 2012 when he was on the Ultimate Fighter. It was Team Jones versus Team Sonnen, and he had that spin kick, and that was all I remember about mixed martial arts for about a year. That spin kick. So Uriah Hall's my boy. He's ranked number 13 at the moment. His record 13-8. I thought he'd have done a bit better than that. Shame on you, Mr. Uriah Hall. Shame on you. But I know Victor Belfort. It has a fight coming up in a few weeks. I can't remember the exact. I know it's in Brazil and it's a fight night. I just can't remember what one. You got Anderson Silva, Derek Brunson. What a great division. That really is one of my favorite divisions.
Yeah, that division is so stacked, man. And I'm glad you brought up Uriah Hall, but he was actually supposed to fight Anderson Silva last year, which I think that fight would be amazing, because those guys are going for the knockout. So that would be interesting if they end up matching them up.
Agreed. And then we have Reginaldo Vieira versus Ayman Zahabi. This is Zahabi's UFC debut. I gave all 3 rounds to Vieira. Okay, I got 10-9 to Vieira. I thought he had in the first round for more takedowns and counter strikes. 10-9 in round 2 because he controlled everything apart from the last 20 seconds. Round 3, he just had more strikes, more control of the cage. And my score, 30-27 to Vieira. Good, fun fight. Official score, unanimous decision, 30-27 to Zahabi. Normally I'm 1 or 2 points off. That's understandable. But to be the whole, if you flip it around, that's a big deal. That's winning the fight. And I was talking to some people on Twitter last night, and they said, "Oh, it's just because it's in Canada. You want the Canadians. They want the judges want the Canadians to win, or they're listening to the crowd, and the crowd are the loudest during the Canadians' offense, so they see that as more impactful." And I don't know if I've said this to you because I do 5 MMA with different people, so I kind of get mixed into which one. But I said that the judges shouldn't be sat ringside because they only get one angle of the fight. They should be backstage in a blacked out room. They can't hear the crowd. They're watching the fight and they're judging it from a monitor. The exact same view we have because we have the best view at home. Absolutely. What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree with that because you take out the outside distractions of a crowd influence or, maybe this, certain biases they might have towards a different fighter. Or if they see something or hear something in the octagon, they might construe as they don't like to hear. So, no, I absolutely agree with that. They should take that format, and I think you would come out with the just winner a lot more often than you would without getting a result like this. Because I completely agree with you. I thought he outstruck him. He was taking him down. I thought he can push the pace to control the fight here, but then it's like you hear the judges score, and it's like, okay. And I know I wasn't on the show last week, but to me, it's kind of reminiscent of Derek Brunson versus Anderson Silva. I kind of was like, there was no way Anderson Silva won that fight. I'm not saying Brunson won decisively, but it's like, okay, Silva didn't win, and I felt the same way here. I felt the judges got it wrong. I think the Canadian crowd influence, like you said, don't get me wrong, I love Canada. I think of myself as an adopted Canadian, don't get me wrong. But it's the fact that can influence the judges to where it's like, ooh, of course they're going to cheer more when their guy, gets something going off or, they're going to boo when the other guy does something. So, no, I think you're completely right with that.
And here's some interesting statistics about that fight. Vieira had a total of 109 strikes and 3 takedowns. Zahabi had 49 strikes and 0 takedowns and won the fight.
It's like, I don't get that, how they look at fights sometimes. It's like he outstruck him, 3-0 takedowns. I guess that's why they say you don't do things on paper, because on paper it looks like clearly he won, but the judges saw something where he didn't. So I guess they're right because they know more than us. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But when one fighter has double the amount of strikes and triple the amount of takedowns, surely that fight, well, that's a different fucking thing. And speaking of the division, we had the women's strawweight division. We had Carla Esposa ranked number 3 versus Randa Marcos in another
champion here.
In another bullshit judge score. So round 1, I gave 10-9 to Marcos. She had some really nice hammer fists in the head for the last 10 seconds. Round 2, 10-9 to Esposa. Good takedown plus a choke. And props for Marcos for surviving the last 20 seconds in. And then round 3, I gave 10-9 to Esposa. She had a nice knee to the head, a takedown. And my score, 29-28 to Esposa. Judges, 29-28 to Marcos, the Canadian.
There you go. Here we go again, man. It's just the judges, fans influenced, the score. Because I felt like a lot on the ground. Like you said, she was getting her with the hammer fist a lot, and she even caught her with a nice spinning back fist here in the fight, which I was like, ooh, that was pretty nice. But just because you do certain moves in the fight doesn't mean that you win the fight. You know what I mean? Don't mean that you're controlling the fight. Don't mean you're pushing the pace. And I don't feel that Randa was pushing the pace here. I thought that Carla was in control of the fight, and actually agree with your scoring. I gave the fight to Carla. So I don't know if there's some kind of backlash against Carla or whatever, because I know there's something going on with her, and I guess I don't want to say, for lack of a better term, broke. I don't want to just say that, but I guess that's kind of something going on with her right now, and it's outside UFC controversies and stuff. But it's just, I think they wanted to be very, very generous to the Canadian, because I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, but in the end of the day, it's still a fight night. It's still on international television. You should call it fair down the middle. If these ladies and the men in the night match before, if they've been training for like 3 to 4 months for this fight, to then be screwed, and the same excuse, oh, but if you leave it to the judge's decision, sometimes you can't help that. I thought that was bullshit, and it's disappointing because the story of the night isn't, oh yeah, there was some great fights. It was what, like last Sunday or Saturday, sorry, for the pay-per-view, it was what bullshit refereeing.
Oh God.
This Sunday, it was, oh, what bullshit judging. It's like, come on, can we just get a fair playing field? But we'll move on to welterweight action. We had Nordine Taylor versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, I'm guessing. Round one I gave to Taylor 10-9. Neither fighter did anything big or no over in this one. Round two, Ponzinibbio 10-9. Taylor has a horrible nose, really broken, badly bruised. And then round three, I gave 10-9 to Ponzinibbio, just because of more strikes and in control a bit more. But it was a tough one to call. But I enjoyed the fight. I gave it 29-28 to Ponzinibbio, and the judges gave 29-28 to Ponzinibbio. So he got the win in the welterweight division. I think the commentary did a great job of hyping this. I felt a little bit underwhelmed, but it's a fight. It's not meant to be, like a great fight. It's meant to just be a fight. They go out there and have a fight. It was just okay. It wasn't anything great, which kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And honestly, if they want to rematch these guys again in the near future, I really wouldn't be too upset with that, because when you have fights like this that can really go either way, I'm not really too upset. They're like, okay, I think we should rematch these guys. So if they're down with that here in the future, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But like you said, it was a little underwhelming. But hey, maybe you got these guys with a little jitters. I don't know. Maybe maybe they had a kidney stone like Matt Mitrione. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying, hey, it is what it is.
Potentially. Now we're onto the main show that was on Fox Sports or BT Sport if you're in England. Paul Felder versus Alessandro Ricci in lightweight division. Round one, Felder with a big elbow plus a big knee knocks Ricci down, and the referee stops that fight quickly. Felder wins the fight, and then post-fight he says, I'm too happy. He goes, I'm too happy to call anyone out. Surely if that's me, I would call someone out in the top 15. Like, I'm there, like, getting the microphone, just going bang, bang, bang on my face. I'm just fucking, like, this is your chance. You just want to fight on big, big, big television, Fox Sports, and you don't call out anyone in the top 15. It's in the lightweight division. Let me quickly get up the lightweight division so we can have a quick look. So we have lightweight division. Obviously, he shouldn't call out Conor McGregor, but he could have called out. He could have called out Will Brooks. He could have called out. Gilbert Melendez.
He should have called him Melendez. Melendez, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Dude, why? He should have done something. He should have done that. It wouldn't have been.
I'm happy.
Oh, I'm too happy to call anyone out. I'm too happy to, potentially get me another payday. Like, come on. If you're too happy, go, yeah, I'm on top of the world. You know what? Because I'm so happy, I'm going to challenge you to a fight. You don't have to be disrespectful about it. You could just be like, look, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with my career. I'm so happy with my life. You know what? Let's fucking do this now. Let's make a run for that top 15. I want you, fucking imbecile fucking Will Brooks, number 15. I want you in the cage.
Exactly.
He missed opportunity.
I agree. Some of these guys, like, you have a fine line to where it's like you're too overconfident, you're too cocky, and then you have it like, like even one of the fighters I like Michelle Watterson. After she beat Paige Van Zandt, she's like, I'm just happy to be here, and I'll fight whoever they're put in front of me. Like, I understand what you're saying, but no, you have to. I'm not saying disrespect the people, but you have to be assertive and call out who you think is a good fight for you and try to move up in the card. Like, that's what this is about. And like you were just saying, like he was saying he was too happy. I'm thinking right here, I'm like, so you're too happy to accept a paycheck?
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, no, I'll never be that happy. I'll always be sad if you want to pay me.
It's just simple though, because then he's marketing himself. And then people online be like, oh yeah, I'd actually love to see the fight with Bum Bum Bum. And then it's Bum Bum. And then UFC look at it and go, oh, people would like to see that fight. Okay, cool. Let's chuck it on a fight night. Not fucking rocket science, is it? The UFC or mixed martial art fighters, you have to make a name for yourself because no one else will. Okay, you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm happy, I'm booked. Get yourself booked. Take professional wrestling. Look at that and think, how can I adapt myself to what they're doing? Look at guys like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega right now getting booked all around the world in England, Canada, America, Japan. All over the world because they market themselves. They say they're the best. No one can touch us with a Bullet Club, for life, blah, blah, blah. That's marketing themselves. These guys like, I'm very happy. Yeah, okay, you're a great person. We get it. But sometimes, I think some of these guys, like Yusaki from last week at the pay-per-view, he was such a prick. He was such a prick. And you know what? I remember him. He lost the damn fight. He got fucked. I remember him. I remember him for being a dick. I want to see that. I want to see that. I would pay money to see that guy get punched in the face. Some of these guys need to just start doing that. But who am I to talk? Who am I to talk? Easy for me to say that sitting behind a fucking keyboard, but it's just, I just want these guys to do well. And anyway, we'll move on.
You're right, but you have to market yourself, because it's like, it's an old saying that my stepfather used to say to me, you know, people I know, he said, closed mouths don't get fed. And you not challenging anybody to saying that you're happy to be there is just like, oh, I'm good. I don't want a payday. I'm fine where I am. No, man, if you want to move, if you want that championship belt and you want that payday with it, you need to move up the ladder. You're not going to get it fighting, you know, Johnny Bag of Donuts down the street. So
it's just silly. They'll learn one day. They'll learn the hard way. We'll jump to some live comments to break up the little fight bit here. We have Brandon Matthews says Travis Browne needs to punch the fuck out of Edmund Tarverdyan in the face and quit his gym. Chauncey Bullock says, brother Nero LK, I knew you'd come. 82 says, what's good, guys? Loved the main event between Lewis and Browne. A number of people were so happy that Travis Browne got KO'd, and the post-fight interview from Derek Lewis was hilarious.
Yeah.
Chauncey Bullock says, hashtag beat up SOS and hashtag beat up SOS girlfriends. 1982 says, tomorrow is not only Toby Maccabee's 20th anniversary show, which will be shown live on New Japan World, but it's also my younger brother's birthday. So happy birthday to Rick 1982's younger brother. And yeah, it is Toby Maccabee's 20th anniversary show. Yeah. What time is it that it starts where you are?
Stateside is 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Which for me is?
For Abby, I think that's 11 a.m.
Perfect. I wake up at 10:30 a.m. You know, because I'll finish this show, which will finish at about 12:45, 1 a.m. Then I've got to do a Wrestle AM quickly, which will finish and wrap up about 2 a.m. I can then go to bed, 2:30 a.m. sleep, wake up 10:30, 8 hours sleep, get some breakfast in me, and watch that live. But I got to watch Raw.
I mean, this is his 20th anniversary show. I mean, it's a special occasion, and I'll be up watching it because, you know, I'm a psychopath. I'm always up at 3 and 4 a.m. and in godly hours watching this shit. So I'll be up live tweeting this stuff. So you know you won't be alone.
So when's it? It's tomorrow morning, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I might watch that live, and then at 2:00. I can't really watch Raw then. Nah.
Do you know what? I'm actually gonna pull up the card real fast because I actually want to see what I will be interested in and not be interested in. Because I mean, you know, some of these are 20th anniversary shows. They have like a lot of old fucks on there sometimes. So you know, it's just like, well, I mean, I do. You know, hey, I like seeing them for nostalgia purposes. But as far as watching them wrestle, I'm like, dude, you're 90. I don't want to watch you wrestle.
Yeah, go on. Even though it is MMA, we'll go with this. So read out the card, and then I'll tell you if I'm going to watch that live or if I'll watch Raw. Because there is, I probably will have to do Raw live, or not Raw live. Sorry, Raw tomorrow.
All right, and I'm viewing this on Top Rope Press. Who shout out to Abby A on Twitter. She is over there killing it at the Top Rope Press. So I'm actually looking at her website right now. Let's see here. We have Hinare versus Tomoki Oka. We have Jado and Geto versus Taka and El Desperado. Tiger Mask, Liger, Nagata, Shibata versus Taichi, Kanemaru, Izuka, and Minoru Suzuki. That should be pretty interesting. Dave Finlay, Kushida, Taguchi, Juice Robinson, and Tanahashi versus Los Ingobernables. Kojima, Tenzan versus Yoshihashi, Goto, and Okada. And the main event is Homa and Makabe versus Ishii and Toru Yano.
For the tag belts, I guess.
It doesn't say here, but I don't see why it wouldn't be for the tag titles.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't say, but I figure it would be.
No, I think I'll watch Raw because then I'll review it. But I might do it on Wednesday I might watch it on Wednesday because I know. Actually, I'll watch it on Wednesday because I know I've got a day off on Wednesday and Thursday because I always have Wednesday, Thursday off. So if you come on Wednesday night, we can cover it then?
Sure.
Yeah, cool, sweet, boom. Where were we? There we are. Gina Mazzani versus Sarah McMahon. And I said on one of the pre-shows, I said I really want Sarah McMahon to lose because she has the second name McMahon. And I was very disappointed when she came out and she was a lovely looking lady. Like, that's a lady. That's not some slut or whore, as we always say. That's a lady. She seemed like a really nice person. And Mazzani didn't make the weight, so she loses 20% of her purse to McMahon. So Vince McMahon the McMahons always get money from people somehow. I thought that was kind of ironic. And then the round one, McMahon with the arm triangle gets a submission victory. You know, that's what I expect. You know, when I see a top 10, you know, she's ranked 7. When I saw a ranked number 7 against not a top 10 fighter, you know, ranked whatever, not even in the top 15, so whatever she's ranked, all due respect to her, I'm expecting them to go out there round one, boom, 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 finish.
Yep.
That doesn't normally happen. But this shows, you know, top 10 caliber. Sarah McMahon, maybe she moves up just to rank 6. And then maybe she challenges one of the top 5 women in the women's bantamweight division. Maybe. That's a possibility.
I think, honestly, in the bantamweight division, let me see if I can bring up the UFC rankings here, because she dominated her in strong fashion. Like you said, I agree. If you're a ranked fighter, you're supposed to do this to a fighter that's not ranked. Like, you're supposed to just smash them, and that's what Sarah did here. And I agree with, she's a very lovely lady. When they had a post interview, I was like, man, she's pretty. She's pretty. She's pretty. She's a pretty lady, and you know, I'm more partial to Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet, but she's a nice lady too. But no, I would actually like to see. It's interesting what they do with Holly Holm, because Holly Holm's on that 3-fight losing streak, and they're like, okay, they're trying to maybe have a rematch with her in GDR. I really don't think she deserves that rematch right now. She's on a 3-fight losing streak. If she wants to fight again, I wouldn't mind seeing her and Sarah McMahon go at it, honestly, because that would be like a kind of a stepping stone fight for Sarah McMahon. And yeah, it was kind of that would. No, I was gonna say, and if Holly Holm was to pull the victory, I was gonna say if Holly was to pull the victory off too, that would pretty much catapult her back in the title contention.
Yeah, agreed. And you know, looking at the top 5 right now, so you got, you know, your girl Valentina Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey for some reasons ranked 2nd, Juliana Pena, Holly Holm, and Raquel Pennington, and then she has Kat Zingano in front of her. But we'll say she moves ahead of her due to the win and how quick she won. You know, they could do her versus, like you said, Holly Holm or Angelina Pena. Obviously, Shevchenko is involved with Nunes right now. You know, Rousey is Rousey, and I don't want to touch on that.
Yeah, she's done. I wouldn't mind seeing. I'm looking here. Raquel Pennington, and I think Juliana Pena definitely after that loss. Maybe Sarah McMahon versus Pena here coming up as well. Because I mean, coming off that loss, McMahon is defeated, you know, just dominantly right here. That'll be interesting as well. And like you said, you got Kat Zingano kind of waiting out there in the wings, waiting for a fight. So this bantamweight division is pretty open. I'm just going to go ahead and exclude Ronda Rousey because they have her 7th, and I'm just going to go ahead and take her off because I don't believe that.
Dude, she's second. She's 2nd on the actual official. You know, I'm on the UFC app, and she's ranked 2nd.
Well, I'm looking on Tapology.com, and their rankings are slightly different than UFC's, I think. Amanda Nunes is ranked number 1 on there. Valentina's number 2. Who's ranked number 3 on the UFC bantamweight ranking?
Juliana Pena.
They have Raquel Pennington ranked number 3.
And now Pennington's number 5.
See, like on this one, I guess they rank differently than UFC, I'm guessing. So, but on this one, they have her ranked 3rd. So that's kind of interesting, though. It's like, we have her ranked 3rd, and UFC has her ranked 5th. So and then they have Zingano was 4th, and Pena is 5th in the top 5.
Oh, that's a big difference because Pena's 3rd, and Zingano, is 6th. That's a big difference.
Yeah, man. And McMahon is 6th on here. Ronda's 7th. Lexus Davis is 8th. Liz Carmouche is 9th, and Betch Correa is number 10.
Watch Wrestle AM, you know that Peyton Royce is my wrestling internet wife. Sarah McMahon has just become my official internet mixed martial arts wife. Boom Booms has Boom Booms.
Okay, you're going to marry Sarah McMahon, and the Bullet Shevchenko is my MMA wife. So yeah.
So Boom Booms has Sexy Star from Lucha Underground. That's his internet wife. I have Sarah McMahon from MMA and Peyton Royce. who's from NXT. So if you type in NXT Peyton Royce, please don't masturbate because she's mine. But also you've got Dion's now got Valentina Shevchenko, and I have Sarah McMahon. So there you go. So that's the sadness out of the way. Where were we? We have Elias Theodoro versus Cesar Ferreira in the middleweight division again. You know, Ferreira coming out to the Rocky theme, that made me smile a lot. I did.
Yeah, that was good.
Round 1, I gave 10-9 to Ferreira. It was tough again. A tough call, I thought. If I'd understand if you went the other way. Round 2, I gave 10-9 to Theodoro. Round 3, 10-9 to Theodoro. My score was 29-28 to Theodoro. The winner was Theodoro, unanimous decision. And then post-fight, Theodoro says, Dean someone sent him a Twitter message to him saying if his name was said on the show, he would get a tattoo on his face of his hair. in these post-fights interviews, some of them are kind of boring. They're all the same. Yeah, I'm appreciate it. But two of them on this show are very funny. This was funny, and then the main event I thought was really fucking funny with what Derek Lewis said. God. That was hilarious. He should get Ronda Rousey should fight Derek Lewis. You know, that'd be in a great fight. And speaking of Ronda Rousey, you know, she did lose, but the amount of money, I think it's $3 million she makes per fight, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
You know, why doesn't she just fight for like the next 10 years? Like, say she fights 4 times a year for the next 10 years, she will make $120 million.
You know what? And I think I'm gonna say, okay, I think that's why she hasn't pulled the trigger on saying she's retired yet. Because I think she's actually really thinking about the numbers here. Because, like, you're right, $120 million, and you know what? If you lose, if you win, guess what? You've made $120 million.
Exactly. Just make sure you obviously win a few, because you don't want to like, get outside the top 15, and then your brand name means fucking squat. But it's fucking Ronda Rousey. Like, she's on the cover of UFC 2. She's got a few movie parts. And by the way, UFC 2 is really fucking good. I got that game. It was a Valentine's Day present from my girlfriend, because she saw how much I was watching. I was watching so much mixed martial arts. She's like, "Oh, you really like that cage fight stuff?" It's like, yeah, it's cool. And then one Valentine's Day, I got given that. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So I'm playing it, and I'm on career. My guy on the career, I'm like ranked 50. I've only played it for like a few days. And on my Ultimate Fighter, do you know you have the Ultimate Fighter online stuff? Yeah. I'm at the championship stage of Division 1, because these online guys, I go through, like, I'll win a few fights, and then it's like, boom, I get knocked back down, and then it's like, oh. But I really fucking love it. And the tactic I use is I always go for the stomach, because if you keep going stomach, go stomach, go stomach, go stomach, and I use the kick, so like the Shawn Michaels super kick, keep going kick, and then they'll keep thinking I'm going there every time my leg moves, but then hit him at the face with the kick. That's what I tend to do. A little strategy there. But I play on PlayStation 4. I play on PlayStation 4.
Me too. I'm gonna have to add you, man. I gotta get that gamer tag going.
Yeah, cool. So I'll send it when I'm off air. I don't fancy giving my gamer tag out to the world. But if anyone does in the Internet Infantry want to play him on UFC 2, the games I play are Battlefield 1, UFC 2. That's about it. If it's any other game in there, if it's generally any other game in there, it's my girlfriend playing it. Like, I come home and I've got fucking trophies for fucking GTA. I'm like, you actually, when I was at work, you came home from college and you fucking actually played GTA. You're a girl. What are you doing? It's like
and she got trophies too. She got trophies. It wasn't like she was just killing folks. She was getting trophies. She was doing work on that game.
Yeah, she's putting in the time. But yeah, it was an okay fight. I was expecting a bit more from Theodoro, you know, because I've heard a lot about him and he talks a lot.
Yeah.
So I expected big things. It was okay. It wasn't nothing special, but what can you do about it?
It's like, what can you do, man? And like we said, this is that middleweight division. Once again, who do you fight moving up, man? So wide open division, man. They have a lot of killers in this division. So we'll see what he does.
Agreed. Then we had Gavin Tucker versus Sam Sicilia in the featherweight division. Tucker's undefeated and in the hometown boy. I gave round 1 10-8 to Tucker, just complete control. Round 2 10-8 to Tucker. Round 3 10-9 to Tucker. You know, his technique, his footwork was fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe getting a fight again against a featherweight in the top 15 to see if he can hang with the best. You know, my score was 30-25. Judges' score was 30-27, both to Tucker. which was I may have been a bit too generous, but I just thought that he controlled it so much. But if we could have a quick look at what division was that, that's the featherweight division. Let's get that one up quickly.
Yep.
So you got the champion Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. But they're in a fight at UFC 212, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So top 15, who we got here? He's undefeated. You don't want to face him. Dennis Bermudez, maybe. I think that could be an interesting one.
That'd be an interesting fight.
Because both have just come off of fights. Renan Barrio, Darren Elkins.
That could be interesting.
There is some possibilities for him to do. So, Gavin Tucker impressed me. He had a really good post-fight interview where not on the actual pay-per-view, it was on like the YouTube thing. And it was him saying, look, I didn't mean to come across cocky. It was just blah, 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 blah. I was like, cool. So he's not a dick. And he was fun to watch. His footwork was amazing. He didn't stop moving for 15 minutes. And I'm shocked he just didn't knock him out. And that's all I'm shocked about.
Yeah, he just outclassed him here, man. This is what I like to call picking somebody apart, just clipping somebody up, hands and feet on him right here. And that's what he did, man. He pretty much did everything but knock him out. So, and it's funny how you were talking about UFC 2 earlier. I played Munches in UFC 2 a lot, and she better tell you this whenever we talk. But we'll play, and I'll sometimes just be toying with her, and I'll just kind of clip her up some, and I'll knock her down. I'm just I'm not really trying to knock you out. I'm just trying to just beat you up for 5 rounds. It's I'm just playing with you here. So I think I kind of sensed that here from Tucker. So interesting to see what he does in this featherweight division, man. That one's another wide open division. Like you said, Aldo and Holloway has a fight coming up soon. Depends on when Holloway's injury is healed up. I know he's filming a movie as well, so that'd be interesting. And fucking Aldo, this dude's got Conor McGregor on the mind. He's talking about he's going to go fight him in the street, in the club, in the gym. It's just dude, man, you just obsessed much? I don't know, but featherweight division, it's another wide open division. I generally like the smaller divisions too because guys are faster, and but I also have love for the heavier divisions because they pack more power, which we'll get into here in a little bit.
Indeed. Then we have middleweight again, middleweight heavy show. We have Johnny Hendricks, who's ranked number 10 in the welterweight, but he moved up to middleweight. Mm-hmm. So he made the jump from 170 to 185. He's facing Hector Lombard in the middleweight. I gave round 1 10-9 to Lombard, 10-9 to Hendricks, and 10-9 to Hendricks round 2 and 3. No, my score was 29-28 Hendricks. Hendricks won by unanimous decision. Post-fight, Hendricks pumped and motivated for new weight class. It was all okay. It was just a very underwhelming co-main event.
Yeah. He said post-fight. I watched his post-fight interview too. He had GSP on the mind. He's another person that's obsessed with somebody else because he can't get GSP off his mind. But he's just oh yeah, your GSP is coming back, and he's going to either go in the lightweight division or he could go to the come up to the middleweight division. He's I would like to hit him in the face a lot. And he's would you guys like to see that, or would you like to see him versus Bisping? Which one would y'all like to see? I'm dude, nobody wants to see you versus GSP at this point. Nobody wants to see big money fights is what he wants, and you are not that, Johnny Hendricks. No disrespect to you, you're a decent fighter, but you're not putting asses in seats. Sorry.
You're in the co-main event of a fight night in Canada. Well, come on, buddy. Yeah. You ain't getting GSP anytime soon.
Not even Toronto, in Halifax. No disrespect to Halifax, but you're in Halifax. Come on.
And then we had our main event. Yeah, Derek Lewis, ranked 8, versus Travis Browne, ranked 9th in the heavyweight division. Round 1, I gave 10-9 to Travis Browne. Browne hurt Lewis's abdomen. And then round 2, Lewis with a big right hand and then gets on top of Browne and just beats the shit out of him until the referee stops. Maybe the referee could have stopped it a bit earlier. Maybe the ref. But because I remember when they were at the cage and Lewis is punching him, Browne kept shouting, look, I'm fine, to the referee because of how badly he was getting pummeled. But he kept shouting, I'm fine. And then when he got to the ground, it's boom, boom, boom. The referee should have stopped it while his hands were up, but he had to wait till he went to sleep, poor boy. Mm-hmm. He had an early night in Halifax. And it was cool. It was the first proper heavyweight knockout that I've seen, and I enjoyed it. And I came on here saying, I like these smaller guys, but these big guys, they go hard and they go fast, even though they're bigger. You're not expecting a 15-minute classic out of these guys. You're expecting a 10-minute battering slobber knocker. And that's what this was. I was excited. And then post-fight, I just need to take a number. This is Lewis' exact quote. I just need to take a number 2 and my stomach will be fine. Where's Ronda's fine ass at? um, and then he also says, all the sex I've been getting, I need the time off.
He did say, dude, Derek Lewis, he is so good. Like, and I don't know if you saw his press conference. He brought out like a toy UFC belt at the press conference talking about, I'm the interim heavyweight champion right now. So I was like, this dude's hilarious. I love Derek Lewis. Like, oh, man. And like I said, that was one of the most brutal knockouts I've seen in a while. He put it on Travis Browne. And, man, Travis Browne, man, at one point in his career, he was actually a really good fighter. He beat Josh Barnett. He's beaten a couple guys, man. And all of a sudden, when he got with Ronda Rousey, he went to that Edmonds training camp, a.k.a. Head Movement, and ever since then, man, he's not been the same fighter. And I don't want to say that this might be the last we've seen of him in the UFC, but standing around the door, man, I know Ronda's is a woman and everything, but man, like, dude, that was an emphatic way to get put out. Like you said, referee just kind of just let him he said, boop, 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 boop. All right, you can stop. It's like, all right, man. Who would you like to see Derek Lewis fight?
Let's have a quick look at the rankings that we got over here. Let me see what we got. So we go heavyweight division. There we go. Right, so we'll just assume that he's now ranked 8th. He could do Mark Hunt, but he's too busy crying in court. But that was a joke, right? He has a valid reason why he's in court. He could face Ben Rothwell, maybe jump into the top 5. Alistair Overeem, maybe. No. Maybe, but the heavyweight division is so wank. There's not really, Cain Velasquez, you could go. Francis Ngannou, maybe that could be a good one. But I think
that's what I was thinking.
I think though you don't want to throw Ngannou in there with a guy who's just won. Like you want to kind of protect him. So maybe you chuck Ngannou in there with Travis Browne for the next fight. That's a possibility. And then if Travis Browne loses that, then he gets the kick, bye-bye, see you later, catch your ass down the line kind of deal.
Because I'm looking at rankings now from Ranking MMA, so they're probably very differently from the rankings on UFC. They actually have Derek Lewis now ranked 6th on their rankings. They have Rothwell ranked 7th, Francis is 8th, Hunt is 9th, and Arlovsky is ranked 10th. First, of course, Stipe. You got Fabricio 2nd. Cain Velasquez, I swear to God, I haven't seen fight in like 5 years. Ranked 3rd.
He fought Travis Browne at UFC 200.
It seems like so long ago. It seems like really, it's like I know he fought then, but it seems like he had a long layoff before then. It seems like too. But then you got Junior Dos Santos and you got Alistair Overeem. But I'd be interested. He called out Mark Hunt after this fight too, did Derek Lewis? So because he said he would stand up and bang with him. So he's like, hey, I'll take that fight with Mark Hunt if he wants to take it. So I mean, I can see Derek. It's interesting. I'm thinking either he fights Mark Hunt or I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Overeem. Honestly, I'm thinking because I just look at this list and I see Overeem. I'm seeing him versus Overeem.
That's a possibility. Either way, the heavyweight division really needs to start fucking sorting this shit out. As amazing as the fight is, let's fucking see a proper structure there. Anyway, we'll go to live comments. Let's not avoid that before I get myself into trouble. I feel so relaxed knowing I get to watch Raw tomorrow. You don't know how stress relieved I feel. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Rick 1982 says, didn't really matter if either Randa Marcos or Carla Esposa had won because Joanna would beat both of them. Chauncey Bullock says, okay, will the UFC go and have a women's light heavyweight championship? I don't really know.
I think it might be lightweight because they had a light heavyweight. He's talking 205.
Yeah, so. Dude, that's big. Like, you're going to get some fucking monsters in there. Rick 1982, your thoughts of MMA fighters grabbing the cage during fights? Pisses me off. What's your thoughts?
Me too. It's like, it's legal, man. It's especially when they like try to hook their feet up and try to use it kind of to crawl up. I hate that most. Like,
come on, you're in the middle of a cage to fight. The reason the cage is there is to protect everyone outside, not you. It's not used to help you. It's there to protect everyone else.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Hell, if that cage when there, Ronda Rousey been in the 3rd row.
Probably. Did you watch the video of the MMA fighter getting KO'd while showboating? I did because he shared it on Facebook, and basically it was this guy who was just taunting literally for like 3 minutes. 3 minutes like taunting, and then he keeps going like he kept dancing and dancing and dancing, and then boom, he just got really like Shawn Michaels-esque super kicked so hard in the face. You saw the minute he got hit, he fucking got knocked out. Like, he didn't even need to go on top. The ref just fucking lunged in there and jumped. Oh, it was really good. I have this is Rick1982 here. I have EA Sports UFC 1 and 2 for PS4. Did you try their predictions contest? I see that comes up. I just assumed that where it came up, Lewis versus Browne, I assumed that wasn't a pick'em contest. I just assumed that was a you play the fights kind of gimmick.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah, they have like you can pick like I guess how they win and what round or whatever. But I've done it like once. But yeah, I've done it once.
What you get if you win?
Man, I'm not even really sure, honestly, because I don't want to misspeak and say, oh, you get this or you get that. But I'm not even really sure what you get. I was just like, fuck it, let's see what this is about.
I'll do it next one. Rick92 again says Lewis should fight the winner of Overeem and Hunt. It's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Chancey Bullock says, LK, see you on Tuesday for a SmackDown review. After off the show, my day off is Mondays. I do, as I've said now, I basically write, this is the new schedule, guys. MMA AM is Monday to Friday. Wrestle AM is Monday to Friday. This means that Mondays, I'm going to do, starting from tonight, I'm going to review Monday Night Raw from 1993, the very first show. I'm going to go Raw from the beginning. Woof. And then Tuesdays, it's the weekly Monday Night Raw review. Wednesdays is the SmackDown Live. Thursdays, NXT and Lucha Underground. Obviously, Lucha Underground on hiatus. Fridays, Impact Wrestling. And then Mondays, I can do pay-per-views. If there's a pay-per-view, I can cover the pay-per-view. Or if there's a big New Japan show at the weekend, I can do that on the Monday. The Monday will free up. And that means you still get 5 reviews a week. You get 5 MMA shows, 5 wrestling shows. Everyone's happy. And obviously, if there's a big news story, if there is like a New Japan show like there is tomorrow morning, it means I'll be able to cover that as well. So don't worry, the shows will be 24 hours delayed, but it's because I'm sleeping at a normal time and I feel a lot fresher coming on here, knowing that in 2 hours I'm going to bed. I'm a lot fresher knowing, because imagine waking up at like 10, you have breakfast, you have lunch, then you have dinner. And it's like, okay, it's cool, all meals. What I was doing is going to bed at 6, waking up at 3, so I'm having dinner at 5, maybe a snack or something at like 11, 12, and then something at 5, and it was killing my body. My brain was just baffled. Like when I watch Raw, I'm not analyzing the show, I'm analyzing the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay. And then my parents, everyone sat me down, I was like, right, you need to stop being a dick. Like, I don't mean to say it, but on, like, you just stop it. I was like, you know what? Thank you. They literally said, like, that office is free for you 24 hours a day. You pick a time to go out there. You do the shows. Why'd you have to do it at 4 a.m.? I was like, well, because it's live. It's like, well, surely if you watch it the next day when you wake up, you're going to be fresher. Your mind will be clearer. You won't be tired, and you'll watch it fresh, and then you'll review it better because of your notes will be better. I was like, all these years of fucking staying up till 4 a.m. watching Raw. Anyway, and the thing is, though, like, people in the UK, it's like, some guy sent me a tweet saying, look, I'm actually happy because I don't watch Raw till like 4 p.m. when I finish work on Tuesday, so I'll be able to catch a review live now. So that's cool. So that makes me happy. Then in mind, you can promote yourself before we rock and roll off into the sunset.
All right. Well, you know where to find me at. One half of SOS Wrestle Talk, my tag team partner, Bunchy Bunches. You can find us at that Twitter machine, at SOS Wrestle Talk. Go ahead and hit that follow button for your boys one time. You can follow me personally at the Dion Wells. I'm there twitting my shitless layabouts, whatever they may be. Me at work, me driving, me not driving while texting. That's bad. But just sitting idle. You know what I mean? But it's just this to me. This this is about my normal regular day, and definitely have something wrestling involved in there. About to get this YouTube channel started off so we can have LK come on. So that would be awesome as well. So look forward for that. Look towards that in the future. But yeah, just other than that, I appreciate you having me on as always. Looking forward to covering not only wrestling, but looking forward to covering some of the MMA cards coming up here. Definitely looking forward to that Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson definitely looking forward to that one. But yeah, man, I'm just excited for all of this prospects going on.
Awesome. Yeah, anytime when you get that YouTube stuff up, just send me a message and I'll come on for any show. So with that in mind, I appreciate you for coming on. Check him out on SOS Wrestle Talk. I'll be back in literally 10 minutes because I'm going to be covering the January 11th, 1993 episode of Monday Night Raw, because every Monday, except when there's a pay-per-view, I'll be reviewing the pay-per-view Monday night. But every Monday, I'm going to do Monday Night Raw from 1993 and then woof. Because then in fucking 2050, we can cover 2015's Raw. That's what we're going to do. Because I haven't really watched them before. And I actually watched it and I forgot it's 40 minutes long. I'm like, dude, I could do that. And that means I have because otherwise, what show would I cover on Mondays? You know, so I appreciate you coming on. Maybe Wednesday night if you're free for the New Japan show.
Yeah, man, I should be free, man. I will be in touch.
Awesome. So I'll see you again Wednesday for the Wrestle AM edition. Appreciate everyone watching us on the YouTube live. Appreciate watching us post live on YouTube. Appreciate you for listening on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, because that link's now up for MMA AM. That in mind, stay safe, stay well, and we'll be catching your asses down the line.